while you're telling me your answers, do me a favor and make sure you grab an outline from Kennedy or Seth. They're not on your chairs this morning, I know, I'm sorry. But grab an outline, and then there's some pens. I think there's some pens in a bucket over there. You got them next to you, and then there's some back here on this chair back here. So grab a pen, grab an outline. We are going to jump in. I want to hear though. What was the things that you'd want to be famous for? Going what? Going to Idaho. That's it. You just want to? Okay. I don't know how you'd be famous for that, but all right. Anyone else? What do you want to be famous for? Yeah. Just one of you. Doesn't matter. Engineering. Huh? Golf. Did you say golf? Yeah, I like it. Golf. Making instant ramen actually instant. Wait, why is it not instant? Takes too long. It's too long. Too long for us. Yeah. What? Wyatt, I like that answer. I gotta write it down because I think that's funny. Wyatt said making instant ramen instant. I think that's funny. We're talking with our high school students on Wednesday about like how we are constantly in hurry, so I'm going to use that. Anyway, I didn't hear from anyone over here. What would you guys be famous for? You don't want to say? Oh, what was it? Animating. That's awesome. Yeah. Give me the next like Toy Story. No, not Toy Story. Yeah. Putting myself in danger. Okay, like Daredevil stunts or something. Yeah. Yeah, that's all right. I didn't hear you, Kennedy. Being my favorite high schooler. That's what I don't have favorites, Kennedy. Sorry. Anyone else? I like that one though. Yeah. What was it? Who was it? Emily? Zoologist? Nice. What zoo would you work at? The Fresno Zoo? Maybe you said that. Sorry, I couldn't hear. The Fresno Chaffee Zoo. Nice. Yeah. Oh, I'd like to. Yeah, I'd love to own a Chick-fil-A. And you get free Chick-fil-A, and I would give you all free Chick-fil-A too. That'd be nice. Preston, you said an engineer. What do you want to build? A lot of cool stuff. Nothing specific. Robots. Oh, that'd be sick. And they take over the world. Yeah. It could happen. Who knows? All right, guys. Hey, well, you guys have been in this series, right? A couple weeks. Yeah, you guys remember this series called Not Famous? Yes? What? Famous, not famous. Is that what? Yeah. Famous, not. Yeah. Anyway, famous, not famous, not. I don't know. I was just reading it how you were reading it. You guys have been in this series. First week, you guys talked about you guys have been talking about the idea of like being an influence and what we're influenced by. You guys, anyone? Does that ring a bell for anyone? Yeah. The first week one, we talked about, are you influenced by the word or the world? I think that was week one. Yeah. Yeah. Week two, it was like it was talking about how we are influencers. Anyone remember that? You remember the word ambassador? Yeah, we talked about the word ambassador. Boys, I feel like you guys are like way in the dark. Boys, why don't you like this row? Why don't you guys up to Josh? Why don't you guys like come over here? There's so much room here. Come on. I'm sorry, Wyatt, but just do it anyway. Come over here. There's so much more fun in the light right here. And these chairs are, we'll pretend like they're really comfy. Yeah. Thanks, guys. I love to make people move. It's fun. Okay, so you guys have been talking about all these things, and last week you talked about the idea that we are made to influence people, that we all have influence. Yes, that ringing a bell? We are ambassadors that we created as a new creation, so we have a new purpose or something like that. Emma's better at those kinds of things. But that's kind of what she said, right? Yeah? Oh, dude. Wyatt. Come on. Everybody say, come on, Wyatt. Just kidding, Wyatt. We're giving you a hard time. It's all good. So this week, guys, as we finish off this series, this is the last week in this series, I want to talk to you about how we, the way that we influence people. Because if we all have influence, how are we supposed to influence people? Because a lot of us, we are in our world, and some of us even, we want to be popular and we want to be famous, right? How many of you guys would say that I would love to be famous? I would love to be popular. Yeah? I mean, you guys just said that, I'd want to be famous for owning a Chick-fil-A or being an engineer or golf or doing crazy stuff. I forget what you guys all said. But some of that stuff, right? You guys would want, how many of you guys want to be famous? Come on, raise your hands. Don't be shy. I want to be famous. Like, that'd be fun, right? That'd be kind of hard, but it'd be fun, right? You want it for money. Okay, you want it for money. Yeah, you want to be rich and famous. You want the status, right? What does it mean to have status? Anyone know? Yeah. Progress. You're famous. It's kind of like famous, yeah. Power. Yeah, respect. You're kind of like higher than other people, maybe. Well known. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. So who are some people that have status? Yeah, based off their status. Who are some people that have status? Jeff Bezos. I don't know who that is. Isn't that like a... I was going to say, isn't that like an owner of like a CEO or something? Yeah. Who? Elon Musk, yes. Who else? People who have status. These are like I thought you guys were going to talk about like YouTube people or I don't know, celebrities. Who? Yeah. Who? The Kardashians. Yeah, they have status. They're popular. People know them. I said that word and everybody knows who they are. Yeah. Who? I didn't hear what you said. One more time. Ryan's Toys Review. Oh, gosh. More money than Mr. Beast. That's wild. Steph Curry. Yeah. Who? Dream? Bill Gates. I don't know who Dream is. But guys, listen, we know all these people have influence, they have popularity, they're famous, they have the status, they are the people that we would call popular, right? And if we were honest, I know some of us in here, I asked you to raise your hand and some of you were like kind of, but some of you really, if we were honest, I bet that all of us in here would say that, it'd be cool to be famous. All of us in here would say, it'd be cool to be popular at my school. Right? Like some of us are like, it'd be cool, even if we don't want to be famous, it'd be cool to be popular at my school because I look at that person and I want to be popular like them. Anyone ever think that? Like, let's just be honest. Anyone ever think, yeah. Like I want people to know me like they know that person or that football player or that, I don't know, whatever people do today. Like Wyatt, right? Everybody knows Wyatt or something, right? But guys, here's the deal. Listen, here's the deal. Sometimes we look for status, we look for popularity, and it really only ends up making us even more miserable than before. The truth is, boys, the truth is, if we spend our whole lives making our life about me, making our life about you, if I spend my whole life making it about me, then I am going to be so miserable. I will live my life miserable because I want people to see me. I want people to see who I am, and the reality is I'm going to put up some face that people don't really get to know who I am, and I'm going to be fake, and it's just this constant battle of I want people to see me. But what I want to talk to you about today is how instead Jesus shows us a better and a different way how we can influence people. We don't have to have the status. We don't have to be the Steph Curry or the Elon Musk or the toy review guy. Like, we don't have to be those people to influence other people, right? Like, you don't have to post videos of you opening toys on Christmas for people to, like, look at you and say, I want to be like that person, or I want to be like... You guys see what I'm saying? And so what we're going to do today is I want to look at what Jesus says about how we should live. Does that sound good? Thumbs up. Everybody ready? If you're ready, say I'm ready. Oh, that was not good. We're not ready. If you're ready, say I'm ready. There we go. I like it. All right. Well, here's what we're going to be in John chapter 13. So if you have a Bible, you can turn there. If you don't have a Bible, it'll be up on the screen. Maybe it's on your outline. I forgot to look at it. It's on there. Well, you got it on there so you can follow along. But this is where we're going to be today. I think of Jesus. And Jesus is the kind of guy that Jesus could have been like the most famous, popular person. Like if Jesus was here today, like if you think about it, like if Jesus was here today, do you think Jesus would have been like an influencer on YouTube? I don't know. I'm just asking. Like, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think Jesus would be like the guy where like you're on TikTok and it's like, right? And like he's like the guy like, what's up, right? Stop scrolling or what? I don't go on TikTok, so I don't know. But right? Like you guys, do you think Jesus would be that kind of guy? I don't know. I'm just asking. Unintentionally? Yeah, maybe. And then they just post it up there? Who knows? Who knows? Yeah. Yeah. Well, here's the crazy thing about Jesus is Jesus could have walked in. I mean, Jesus is the Son of God. Like Jesus is, like he is the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, and he came on earth. And the crazy thing about Jesus, he could have walked in and came down from heaven and be like, you better follow me, right? Like Jesus came so that people would follow him. And the way that we would expect someone to do that is to gain popularity, to gain the status. But Jesus doesn't do that. Like Jesus doesn't like come down on earth and say, hey, I'm here, follow me. In fact, Jesus actually pushes people away sometimes. He says, no, you can't follow me. And he does call people to follow him, and sometimes it's too hard. But Jesus actually does something different. And instead of looking for status, he looks to serve people. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. So in John chapter 13, that's where we're going to be reading. This is what we see. The disciples, how many of you guys know how many disciples there were? How many disciples were there? Just yell it out. Tell me. There were 12, right? 12 disciples that walked with Jesus. And these disciples sometimes got in arguments. These disciples were people who sometimes they were like us, where we're like, I'm better than you. How many of you guys trash talk with your brothers or sisters? Anyone? Like, let's just be honest, right? Sometimes you're like, I'm better than you, right? I'm better than you. I can beat you in that video game. Like, let's play soccer. Like, I'm better than anyone? Yes, yes, yes. I used to do it with my brothers and sisters. The disciples, guys, listen. Disciples, it was like disciple trash talk time, all right? Like we read about it in Luke. I think maybe it's on the screen, I don't know. But in Luke chapter 22, maybe this wasn't on your outline. I think it's the first one on there. It says that the disciples, there was a dispute that arose among them, and they were as to which of them was regarded the greatest. And so they're fighting over, no, I'm better than you. No, I'm better than you. I can imagine just like John is like, hey, Peter, like you just talk too much, dude. Like I'm way better than you, right? Like they're putting people down to make themselves better. And Peter's like, no, John, like I'll beat you in a race right now, right? Like it's the disciple trash talk time, right? And here's what Jesus does. This is what's happening right now in this room where they're about to eat dinner. And this is what Jesus does in the middle of all of this. You ready to read it? In John chapter 13, here's what it says in verse 1. It's on your outline. It says, this is what Jesus is doing in the midst of this. He says, there was a feast, the feast of the Passover, when Jesus knew that his hour had come to depart out of this world and to the Father, having loved. What did he do? He what? Come on, say it again. He loved them to the end. And during the supper, when the devil had already put it into the heart of Judas, Simon's son, to betray him, Jesus, knowing that the Father had given all things into his hands and that he had come from God and was going back to God. Let's pause right there for a second. Because Jesus is about to go where? It just told us. Jesus is about to go where? We know that Jesus was going to go and die. How was he going to die? On the cross. Jesus was going to suffer and die for the people sitting at that table with them. And they're fighting over, I'm better than you, I'm better than you, I'm better than you, I'm better than you, I have the status, right? And they're fighting over this, and Jesus is about to go die for them. And there's a guy sitting at that table who's gonna completely betray him. There's a guy sitting in that room who's gonna go and sell Jesus out so that he can go and die. Like he's the guy that gave Jesus over to be killed on a cross. And Jesus is standing there. Like Jesus, if you think about, like if I was Jesus, right, in that room, okay, can you guys just picture us like sitting around a table, right? And there's all these people and they're fighting, I'm better than you, I'm better than you, I'm better than you. And then Judas is like sitting there and he's like, I'm about to betray him, I'm about to make a bunch of money, right? And Jesus is sitting there and Jesus knows all of this going on and he knows where he's going to go. He knows that he came from God. And if I'm Jesus, you know what I'm about to do? Like guys, like shut up, stop talking because I'm better than all of you. Right? Like, that's what I want to do. If I was Jesus, I'd be like, you know what? Like, you think you're so good? Like, I came and was with God when you were created, right? Like, Jesus could have said that to the disciples. He could have said, you know what? You think you're so good? I was there at the beginning of time, right? Like, Jesus could have said that, but what does he do instead? Let's read it. Verse 4. You ready? Jesus, he rose from supper. You ready? He rose from supper. He got up from the table. And it said he laid aside his outer garments, and he took a towel, tied it around his waist, and then he poured water into a basin and began to do what? What does it say? You guys are reading it with me. What does it say? Wash the disciples' feet and wipe them with the towel that was wrapped around him. Do you guys understand how wild this, like how crazy this is? Maybe you've heard this. How many of you guys have heard this story before? Maybe you've heard the story before, but do you understand how crazy this is? Like, Jesus is the Son of God, the King of Kings, and they're fighting over, I'm better than you, I'm better than you, I'm better than you, and Jesus stands up in the middle of that. He doesn't say anything, and he says, all right, I'm going to take off my crown because I deserve to be crowned, but I'm going to take it off. He didn't really have a crown on. He just, metaphorically, pretending, right? And he said, I'm going to put a towel around my waist, and I'm going to come over, and I'm going to wash your dirty, disgusting feet. Anyone want to wash my feet? You want to smell them right now? Nope, right? Like, hey, like, dude. Oh, that's bad. All right? Like, not good. It's mad. And then not only, like I'm wearing shoes right now, okay? But the disciples in that time, guess what they wore? Either nothing or sandals, right? And do you understand that there were no paved roads? Like, you guys, we're so lucky. We get to walk on, like, cement and sidewalk, and we get to walk on, right? There was dirt. It was nothing but dirt and cow poop, or probably donkey poop, right? Like, that's what they walked in. And so they're stepping in all this stuff, and you can imagine they're sitting at the table, right? And they didn't really, like, have chairs that they sat at the table with, so they'd sit, like, on the ground like this, and they're sitting like this, crisscross applesauce. And you can imagine, like if I'm Peter and John's sitting right here, and John's like sitting there like, dude, your feet stink, right? Like your feet smell, they're bad. And so there's this need that has to happen. There's something that has to happen. How many of you guys, before you eat dinner, your parents are like, wash your hands? Yeah? Sometimes, maybe. Well, this is like, maybe it's just something you do in your house. Maybe you just automatically do it. I don't know. But this is just something that they automatically did because their feet were dirty. They were disgusting. They probably stepped in donkey poop or whatever, right? And they're sitting there like this right next to them, and they're about to eat food. And this is something that regularly happened. And the lowest servant in the room, there was usually a servant, a slave in the house that as they walked in, they would come around and they would wash their feet. But when the disciples walked in this room, no one got up and washed their feet. And so disciples are sitting there with dirty, gross, nasty feet, and they know that this needs to happen. And what does Jesus do? The King of Kings, Son of God, he gets up and he puts a towel around his waist and gets a water basin thing, and he walks around to each disciple. When he got to Judas, what do you think he did? You think he went, no, you're going to betray me. Like, I don't need to wash your feet. What do you think he did? Is that what he did? He washed his feet like everyone else. Why? Because it said he loved them. He looked on these people who were fighting over each other, and he said, I love you so much that I'm going to choose to serve you. Like, Jesus is showing us something about what it means to have influence in the kingdom of God. It means not to look for status, but to serve. See, that's the thing that I want us to see today. If we kept reading, we'd read verse 15. It says, Jesus says, for I have given you an example that you should also do, as I have done to you. Does that mean Jesus wants us to walk around our school, wash people's feet? You got to walk around your school with like a water bucket and a towel, and you got to like go to yeah? Anybody? Do you think you should do that? Yes? Wyatt, try it for me at school tomorrow. Let me know how it goes, okay? All right? Is that what Jesus is asking us to do? I'm just messing with you. That's not what Jesus is asking us to do. He's not asking us to walk around the school and literally wash people's feet. He's just saying that just like I have chosen to serve, you should do the same thing. And so what we're going to do is we're going to unpack really quickly. We're going to unpack what Jesus just did in this story and see how we need to choose service over status. That's the first thing you can write in. We need to choose service over status. If we're going to be people who influence, all of us have influence, and if we're going to be people who influence other people, We need to choose service over status. Instead of trying to be the best, instead of fighting like the disciples, I'm more popular than you, I'm better than you, I'm this, I'm that, you're this, you're that, we need to choose to serve other people. You know, guys, I think that a lot of us would probably know and recognize that we see, how many of us would say that we see or experience even ourselves bullying at school today? Yeah, at school, at home, on our, whatever, neighborhoods. Yeah, how many of us would say, yeah. I mean, if we're honest, probably all of us, right? And if you don't, then it might be you. If you don't, then you might be the bully, so you better be careful. But listen, here's what we love to do. We love to put other people down so that people can see us. Isn't that true? Like, we love to make fun of that person so that I can feel a little bit better about myself. We love to gossip about that person so that people see me and think that I know everything, right? How many of you guys experienced this? I've experienced this. I've experienced this about me. I'm guilty of this. And sometimes we love to put, maybe it's with your brother or sister. You love to put them down so that you can be known as the bigger brother, or you're the younger brother and you can be bigger even though you're younger, right? Like, you want to be the best, you want to be the greatest, and we put people down so that we can be built up. But Jesus does the opposite. See, Jesus says that we need to not only look out for our own interests, but the interests of others. That's what Philippians says. It's on your outline. Philippians 2, it says, don't only look out for your own interests, but take an interest in others too. Would you say that you're someone who serves the people around you at school, at home? Like, what would your parents say? What would your friends say at school? What would your teachers say? Would they say that, yep, that person is known as a servant? Or would they say that actually that person just cares about themselves? Guys, Jesus is calling us to more. It's not just because he wants to take away our fun or take away, actually doing this living, this way of life is actually so much more fun, so much more joyful. Because like I said in the beginning, if we only care about ourselves, our life will be so miserable. Because we'll look and try to make ourselves known. But when we don't care about what people think about us, and we don't care about what people say about us, and we're choosing to serve other people instead, then we'll find so much more joy. You don't believe me? Try it out. Try it out, and you'll find joy. So how do we do this? Well, this is what Jesus shows us. First, we do this. We see that Jesus does this. Bending a knee brings you close to other people. You can write that in. Bending a knee brings you close to other people. Bending a knee brings you close to other people. Jesus literally, they're sitting on the ground, and Jesus literally got down on his knees so that he could be close to the people that he loved. And he didn't love them because of what they gave him. He didn't love them because of what they were doing for him. In fact, a lot of those disciples were going to betray him. They're going to run away from him in the moment that he needed them the most. But Jesus loved them anyway. And he chose to serve them anyway. And so even if people are not treating us right, even if people are doing things that they shouldn't be doing, we should choose to serve and love them anyway. That's what he's called us to. Jesus bends down on his knee and he meets a need, right? While they're arguing, complaining about I'm the best, you're the best, I'm the best, whatever, you're not good, I'm good here, whatever. They're complaining and arguing like Jesus chooses to get down on his knee and lift other people up rather than putting other people down. Jesus shows us a different way. So what do I mean by bending a knee, right? Do we literally, it's like the washing the feet thing. Do I literally have to walk around to people and like bend my knee? No, please don't do that. It's gonna be weird, right? Like don't be weird. People are gonna think that you're like, I don't know. You're just weird, right? You have a question? Yeah. The priest washed every single fourth grader's feet. Feet or hands? Feet. Oh, that's gross, dude. Every single fourth. That's great, but that's gross. I don't know how he did it. I would not want to wash your feet. I love you all, but you know. Anyway, I'm good, Preston. I don't want to wash your feet. I'm all right. No, you got flip-flops on. Anyway, all right, let's keep moving. What do I mean by bending a knee? Well, here's what I mean, right? Choosing to go out of my way to sit with the person that might be sitting by themselves, right? It might be more comfortable for me to just sit by myself and you know what, or sit with the people that I'm comfortable with or whatever. You guys are sitting by yourselves on purpose because you can't quiet down. But I'm too comfortable sitting by myself or sitting with the people that I'm comfortable with. And sometimes bending a knee literally means just giving up what I want so that I can serve and love other people. That's what bending a knee means. And so maybe it means walking over and sitting with someone or hanging out with someone that doesn't really have a lot of friends, or hanging out with someone that just doesn't know a lot of people and I get to know them. Maybe it means being kind to someone that disagrees with me, right? Maybe it means being kind to someone who really hasn't been kind to anyone else. And maybe if I'm kind to them, maybe they won't be kind back, but I'm going to choose to love and serve them anyway, because that's what Jesus did. He looked Judas in the face, and he washed his feet right before he was about to go and sell him out. Maybe it's showing respect to my parents. Ooh, that's a hard one. Showing respect to my parents, right? My parents tell me that. How many of you guys ever get your phone taken away? Yeah, like, let's be honest. Come on. It all happened. I did, right? Get my phone taken away, or whatever it is. Maybe it's not your phone. Maybe it's video games. Anyone get your video games taken away? Wyatt, you're like, maybe. Your mom's sitting in the room, dude. You can't lie, right? Right? This all happens, right? Our parents do things that we don't really like, but bending a knee might mean choosing to show respect and say, all right, I respect you. I will choose to respect you in this moment. Maybe it's a brother or sister, whatever it is. So the question is, how can we bend a knee from what we want for the sake of other people, to love other people? That's the first thing we see Jesus do, is he bends down so he can be close to other people. The second thing we see Jesus do, and the second thing he's calling us to do, is we see that the dirty job reveals our heart, your heart, Jesus' heart, for other people. Reveals a heart for other people. What was the dirty job Jesus chose to do? Why was it dirty? Foot. Just foot, yeah. Donkey poop, right? I don't actually know if there was donkey poop, but I'm just guessing, yeah. Because they wear sandals all the time, and it was disgusting, and yeah, it was nasty, right? They're gross feet. It was a dirty job. Jesus chose to do the dirty, nasty job. Guys, I told you that this was the job of the lowest slave in the house. Like the worst, this is just how things worked back then. Like, it wasn't right, it's not good, but this is how things worked back then. That the lowest slave in the house, the slave that no one cared about or no one did anything with, that slave was the one that sat by the door, waiting for people to come in and wash their feet. And what does Jesus do? He chooses to take the job of the lowest slave, and this is Jesus, the Son of God, the King of Kings, the guy who he could have walked in with like angels and said, "Come follow me," but instead he chose to wash. Isn't that wild? Like, that's crazy. And Jesus chose to do the dirty job, the gross thing, to show that he loved these people more than he cared about how comfortable he was. How many of you guys ever clean your bathroom at home? Anyone? Every time? How many of you love to clean your bathroom? No, right, all the hands go down. You like to clean your bathroom, Kennedy? Yes? I mean, you can come over to my house and clean our bathroom, because that's gross. Like, I hate cleaning the bathroom, right? Another thing, what are some chores you guys just hate doing? What are some chores you guys just hate doing? Just yell them out. Vacuuming, dishes, taking out the trash, basically all the chores. Right? Just doing chores. How many of you guys have dogs at home? You guys have to pick up dog poop? That's like my least favorite thing. All right? I hate that. It's gross. Yeah, it's nasty. It's nasty. But guys, listen. If we choose, like, what if? Think about this. What if? Like, what if you walked home today? What if you went home today? Not walked, but what if you went home today and you noticed, right? You noticed that the trash was overflowing in your house. Like it's kind of smelled, and you went home, and everyone's tired, and it's Sunday afternoon, your dad's watching football, and your mom's doing stuff, right? Whatever, right? Like, I'll just pretend. Like, you walk home, and the trash is overflowing, and no one's taken it out yet. And instead of waiting for your mom or your dad to say, hey, go, can you take the trash out? What if you walked over and you took the trash out, and you went and put it back, and you put a bag back in? Like, how would your parents feel? What would they think? Oh, that you're a good person. They'd probably think, like, who is this kid, right? Like, they'd wonder who you are. But guys, listen, this would show your parents that you love them, that you respect them, that you care for them because you chose to do something without them having to ask, right? Like, it's just like, what if someone walked up, right? And all your friends, like you walk into the building, right? And all your friends, you guys, your big group of friends, you're walking in together, and you're walking in with your friends, and they all walk in the door, but someone behind you is walking in by themselves. And the door closes behind you and your friends, and you could walk with your friends, but then you see that person walking up, and they're just by themselves. But what if you chose to walk back, to let your friends go ahead, because you'll catch up with them later, and you chose to open the door for that person coming in by themselves? Like, how would that make that person feel? Awesome. Pretty good, right? Like when we choose to do something that we'd rather not do, to love and care for people, it shows that we care for those people. And this doesn't, guys, again, don't go washing people's feet. Like, please don't, okay? But guys, we can do little things to show that we care for people. This is what I'm talking about. This is how we have influence. This is how we serve. We choose to love and to care for people. This is what Jesus is calling us to do. Here's the third thing that we see Jesus do. It's the last thing. Here we go. You ready? If you're ready, say I'm ready. I'm ready. You guys are awesome. We see Jesus putting aside your status makes you open to other people. Putting aside your status makes you open to other people. I was thinking putting other... The state of Russia. That's not what we're talking about. Putting aside your status. Let me explain what I mean, all right? Jesus, here's what Jesus does. It says, you can go to that next verse, Cole. It says that Jesus, go ahead, Cole. We'll wait for you. Okay. There it is. He laid aside his outer garments. What does that mean? What does that mean? Jesus, he took off his cloak or his jacket or whatever, right? Jesus chose, here's what we see. Jesus chose to take off this king, the Son of God. He chose to take that off and put that away and say, you know what, I'm going to put that away and I'm going to be a servant today. And I'm going to choose to serve people because that is what is going to make me open to other people. Here's how I think about it. You guys know who Derek Carr is? Yeah? You guys know he's the quarterback for the Raiders? Yes? There was a few years ago that Derek Carr came to North Point. Do you guys remember that? Yeah? You were there. Well, he came to North Point a couple years ago, and when he came to North Point, he's a famous guy. You guys know he's a famous guy? Yeah? You go on Instagram, he's got the blue check mark. All right, that's how I know he's famous. Listen, Derek Carr, he came to North Point, and he was backstage in our worship center. And me, I'm like, this is a famous guy. Like, he's a famous football player. Like, he's a big dude. Like, so I'm sitting here, and I'm like, oh my, like, I'm intimidated, a little bit intimidated, because I want to meet him, but I also am like, I don't know, like, how many of you guys ever seen a celebrity in person? Like, anyone? Did you get to meet them? No? Were you too afraid to meet them, Aubrey? Oh, the Property Brothers? I guess they're famous. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Sometimes when people have status, when they're famous, it's a little bit intimidating. And the reality was that I walked up and finally I got over myself and I went and shook hands with Derek Carr. I met his family and it was awesome. It was great. He's a super nice guy. But the point is that sometimes our status, sometimes our popularity, sometimes the achievements that we have make us not open to other people. Sometimes people look at us and they think, well, that person's too good for me. That person is never going to talk to me. That person has all the friends and I just have none, so that person would never. But guys, sometimes we need to lay those things aside, leave behind our big group of friends to help and love and serve the one person by themselves. Maybe some of us, we are the popular person at school, and there's nothing wrong. That's okay. It's just how we use that, what we do with that. Sometimes we need to lay that aside to love and care for the people. Maybe you are how many of you guys are an older brother or sister in here? Okay? Maybe if you're the older brother or sister, maybe you just need to, you know what? Yes, I'm the older brother. Yes, I can do, I think that I can do whatever I want. That's not true. But maybe I think I can do whatever I want. But I'm going to go and I'm going to love and I'm going to care for my younger brother. I'm going to go and I'm going to hang out with my younger brother or sister or whatever. It's laying aside all the achievements and things that we've done so that we can love people. That makes us open to caring for people. So, as we end this series, guys, I want you to think about today this question. There's one question that I want you to think about. Who can you serve this week? Super simple, super easy. You guys see lots of people every week, every day. You go to school tomorrow, you see lots of people, right? Think about a person. Maybe there's a person in your class that really just doesn't really talk to anybody. That you don't feel like they have a lot of friends. You get to joke around and hang out with friends in class, but that person doesn't really do much because they just don't have. Maybe you can choose to talk to that person. Switch seats to go sit next to them. Hold the door open for someone. Okay? Whatever it is. How are you going to serve people this week? Because this is what Jesus calls us to. This is how Jesus calls us to live. I mean, he did it. He showed us an example so that we can do this for other people. So who are you going to serve this week? Let's think about it as we worship, okay? Let's pray. Jesus, thanks so much for this story. Thank you that you chose to serve and love despite who you are. Thank you that you laid aside being the Son of God, the King of Kings, to come and be with us, to be like us, and you chose not to come in and demand followers, but to come in and invite by serving. Jesus, thank you that you made the ultimate sacrifice in service by going to the cross for us. I pray that you'd help us to know that and see that and be transformed by that so that we might go out and serve other people in the same way. Challenge us this week. Show us the people who you want us to serve. We love you in your name. Amen.